Hello everybody, it's Nicola here. Welcome back to Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Today we're heading out from Coffinwell to take on our next dungeon. So we're heading over to the Quarantomb to meet with Dr. Fleming, because we're going to be his bodyguards for this mission. So we're just going to run over there right now. Usually at this point I would do some monster information stuff, but we're gonna skip out on that until after we've done the dungeon. So this area here does contain a couple new monsters and stuff like that. But like I said, we're just gonna skip over it because I am very excited to get to this next dungeon, because we're gonna be doing an awful lot of leveling up and we're gonna be spending our skill points finally. And it's gonna be really great and we're gonna be very powerful afterward. So we're going to take on Quarantomb first, and then we'll tidy up a bunch of loose ends afterwards. Here's Dr. Fleming. You took your time, Nicola, was it? See, here it's just as I said. The shrine wall collapsed in the earthquake and the entrance has been left wide open. It doesn't bode well for the seal that was supposed to be keeping the contagion contained. We better head inside. Make sure you do what father-in-law employed you for. I can't afford to get injured. No worries, I've dealt with places like this before. So this dungeon is actually incredibly simple. It's just a series of corridors and there's a small puzzle, which is kind of barely a puzzle really, that involves these big mirrors, and oh my gosh, straight away, this, my friends, is the reason we are here. I did not expect to see one of these guys so quickly. Alright, we have a couple new monsters here, so let's just do the usual stuff here, and we'll start off with the enemies on the right. These are mummy boys. Talented tacticians who focus on their more formidable foes first and are reinforced against wind and darkness. They always bring some spare bandages to bind up any beauties they might bump into and want to bring back with them. Well, that's not creepy at all, but just gliding over that, there is another enemy here, which is the best thing you will ever see. And if you've played a Dragon Quest game before, you'll know why. This is the metal slime. Those lucky enough to meet one of these and defeat it before it dashes off will find it a very rewarding experience. Warning: ordinary oozes have recently been wrapping themselves in aluminium foil and masquerading as metal slimes. So the thing about metal slimes is that they give a ton of experience points. They don't have an awful lot of HP, however they are very hard to hit and most of the time you will only do 1 damage to them thanks to their huge defense. Also, this is probably a good time to mention that there's actually some variations in terms of enemy stats. So while the HP for the metal slime is 4, sometimes they can have 3 HP. So there's a little bit of a differentiation between the numbers. So the thing about metal slimes, like I say, they're very hard to hit. And also metal slimes like to run away. Perfect timing. So what we're going to want to do to help with taking out metal slimes is actually spend our skill points in a couple of skills that we have access to right now. So there are abilities you can learn with the sword, which 2 of our party members can equip right now. Myself and Ricky can both equip swords. And that ability is called Metal Slash, which will deal extra damage to metal-bodied enemies. So it basically means rather than doing 1 damage or no damage, you're probably going to do 1 or 2 damage. Which doesn't sound like much, but honestly, it is very much worth it. So as soon as we get out of this battle, I'm going to spend some skill points just to get that going. The other way to deal with metal slimes is to get a critical hit, which will bypass our defense and take them out immediately. However, we don't quite have the reach to perform critical hits regularly at the moment. So I'm going to go to allocate skill points. We'll start off with me. So I have 18. So with the sword skill, we want to put 13 points into Metal Slash. And then as for the rest of my points, I'm probably going to hold off just a little bit longer. We just need the 13 for right now, and I'll spend my other points later. So I've actually got all these extra abilities. Dragon Slash will deal more damage to dragon enemies, and my attack with this sword increases by 10. And we're going to get some accolades for this. Accolades are basically achievements, and I'll be getting as many of them as I can on the one save file, though some are mutually exclusive. So here I've got my first 3 sword proficiency certificates, which is nice. Also, that now might actually be a good time to point out, I did get another accolade off screen. Accolades aren't. So I did get Huntswoman, which is for getting 10% of the monster list. So that's another thing I did, just to point that out while I remember. So real quick, I'm gonna give some skill points to Ricky. Same thing, I'm gonna put 13 into the sword skill. So Ricky's warrior skill tree special is courage, and courage is an amazing skill tree. So I'm gonna be putting points into that. But once again, just to speed things along here, I'm only gonna do the recommended metal slash skill points, and we'll deal with everything else later. Roxy and Sakura unfortunately do not have access to metal slash, so they won't be as helpful against metal slimes, but they can still do regular attacks and hope for some damage. So like I was saying, the other way to deal with metal slimes is getting critical hits. Usually a critical hit is just a case of it being random. However, there are a couple of skills that you can get with the spear and the axe weapons that 50% of the time will just deal a critical hit, or they'll do nothing. So that's a really good method as well for killing metal slimes, and that'll be more helpful later in the game. So we'll probably switch up to that tactic, but for right now it is metal slash all the way. Speaking of, let's see if we can actually defeat this guy. Okay, 1 metal slime on his own. Hopefully he won't run away. So if we go oh, you know it would really help if I equipped... wait, can I not equip items? I think I can equip... yeah, here we go. Nicola Swords Copper Sword. So this is the only other sword I have right now, so we'll have to just deal with it. So Metal Slash costs no MP, which is really good, so we're going to use that. Roxy and Sakura are just going to do regular attacks, and Ricky will also perform a Metal Slash. Dodged Roxy's attack. Okay, it's not run away yet. This is good. So you need to deal either 3 or 4 damage, depending on how much HP this particular slime has. So we've dealt 2 damage, so it's just rinse and repeat really. Pray it doesn't run away. Oh dear, I mean, this is something you're just gonna have to get used to. Unfortunately, they do run away quite a lot. But it's part of the process, you know? And of course there are other monsters in here that I will fight along the way, but for right now I'm just kind of pacing up and down the corridors because there's a few treasure chests. And we do have to flick these 2 switches, which are emitting beams of light that are bouncing off the mirrors. But this is a painfully simple dungeon. I feel like it's easier than the hexagon. It's more straightforward anyway. So we've opened the door and now you can beat the boss, but of course, I'm not gonna go beat the boss, not when I have access to all of this crazy powerful leveling techniques. So here, let me just open the last couple chests here. We have a mini medal. We'll actually be able to use those kinda soon. We're still a little ways off, but you know, kinda soon. Another chest here. Sweet. Alright, let me just have a little run around and we'll take a look at the other monsters that we can find here. May as well start off with this gentleman. Alright, more mummies boys, but we've seen them already. So this guy on the left is the Earthen Warrior. Fiery-breathed pieces of highly protected pottery that fortify themselves even further with Kaba. Pottery paladins put in the graves of the great and good to guard them in the beyond, but soon grow bored and go AWOL. Alright, so they can unleash a little bit of a nasty spell, which is their Fiery Breath. It's not really a spell, it's more of an ability, which can attack a lot of the party members, so hopefully he doesn't do that and we can just carry on as normal here. Sakura, why are they all attacking you? Need to get some healing going here. Attack, attack. Do you have mid heal yet? No, you don't. Regular heal and attack again. Perfect. Geez, I don't know why Sakura seems to be the target of so many enemies, especially considering she's in the back row, so she shouldn't really be targeted as much as she seems to be. There he goes again, just whacking Sakura over the head. No worries, we can just do another heal on her. So aside from fighting the regular enemies here, I am going to be spending a little bit of time level grinding off metal slimes. As soon as you see me defeat one, you'll realize how good they are, so I have a plan to get the party up to level 17, which may seem like a crazy jump, and honestly, it's kind of too powerful for the next boss, but it'll see me through into the next point where we encounter metal enemies, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the leveling now, and then we'll have smooth sailing from here on out until the next sort of, upgrade to the metal slime. Oh, how perfect. The next enemy just appears right before us. How very kind. Oh my gosh, 3 of them. Okay. These are mean spirits. These soul-stealing minions of evil may be menacing, but their low defense lets them down. Beware lone lights in the middle of the night. Smells like mean spirits fishing for friends to ferry to the realm of the dead. Nice reference. Alright, let's just, start attacking these guys. Both hits on me, that's fine, I'm very bulky. I really don't want them to hit Sakura though, I'd much rather they didn't. But hey ho. So there's a couple more enemies that you can find in here, but only as encounters alongside other enemies. So I think what I'll do is have a little look for metal slimes and see if they appear next to metal slimes. I mean, otherwise we're just looking for metal slimes in general, because that's essentially the point of this dungeon. Attack her, that'll lower Ricky's attack, which is kind of annoying. Still alive, eh? Go on, Sakura. Here comes the 2 times damage. Nice. Even with the attack lowered, he still did really good. Needs to heal up the party after this as well, they've really done a number on us. Perfect. Alright, so we'll just make our way over to the start of the dungeon here. So, something that I like to do, I'll just talk about it while I'm healing up here, is in order to find metal slimes, I like to hover around the start of the dungeon. You have a couple options for finding them. You could use some holy water and run around the dungeon, or you could just stand in place and wait for spawn points to happen. So standing at the start here is quite good because they'll spawn to the left and right of you, and that happens quite regularly. You can literally just leave the game here, there's no chance that they'll run into you. You just need to wait for the spawns to happen and that spawn to be a metal slime. The alternative is kind of running in and out of the dungeon, waiting for a few spawns to happen and then leaving again. Sometimes they'll kind of get a little bit stuck and they won't move very much. Kind of like right now, it's kind of slowed down a bit. There's also a spawn point south, so you could wait a little bit further down and wait for the slimes. Or you could do this, which is leaving the dungeon, running up to here, seeing what spawns in, and then if it's a metal slime, going for it, and if not, running back out. Either way works well. Oh, this is really good. We get a free turn here because it doesn't notice our presence. Alright, this should be it. This should be it. I'm really hopeful. Okay, 2 points of damage. That's really good. Sakura, nice! So that one only had 3 HP, which is great for us. Look at this experience. Oh, it's so sweet. I love it so much. Ricky gets a level. Everyone gets a level, most likely. There's Sakura. So I'm still holding on to my skill points. I promise I will spend them, but we're about to hit a point in the game where skill points and vocations are just going to go nuts. So I'm holding on to them, aside from learning Metal Slash. So yeah, this is going to be my life for the next however long it takes me to get to level 17. There's a couple more enemies I want to show you, so I'm going to try and run into those as well. And basically, I'll see you in a little bit when I'm done. So while fighting metal slimes here, I've actually found one of the enemies that can only appear alongside overworld encounters. This guy is the Magus. Attacks exclusively with spells including Fizzle, Whoosh, and Magic Barrier, and lives in fear of light-based attacks. Mortals who make a pledge of allegiance to a dastardly demon had their souls stolen by way of thanks. That's really creepy. So we're just going to focus on the metal slime, of course, because that's our ultimate goal here. See what we can do. Oh, of course it ran away. It's always the ones on camera that run away. I think I probably fought 6 or 7 slimes, and we're almost at level 17, so we're doing pretty well, but we have one more enemy to find, and like I said, 17 is the magic number I've decided on here. So he's yes, Roxy. So he's actually managed to silence a couple of our party members so they can't cast magic. That's what that little symbol is. Here we have the final enemy that we're going to encounter inside Quarantomb. This is the Lost Soul. Self-destructive miseries of the monster realm who shy away from reality, only to implode self-importantly. These wandering wretches would readily renounce their roaming and undo their disrepute. They long to happen upon happiness. Gosh, these are terribly miserable enemies. They're a little bit dangerous. They can actually self-destruct and do a fair amount of damage, so it's a good idea to take them out relatively quickly. Sometimes, or more often than not, they'll just not attack at all. Like there, it says Lost Soul cannot make up its mind, which is great. It's so funny. But after a couple turns, they will blow themselves up, so just be aware of that. Although they are actually trying to attack me. They'll generally just do the 1 damage though. Their main shtick is that they like to explode. So let's try and take this guy out with Ricky. Perfect. And as you can see, I'm all level 17 across the board. Sakura takes a little bit more experience to level up because she's a priest. But yeah, we're all level 17, so I'm ready to just do a quick heal on everybody, and then we're gonna go ahead and fight the boss of this dungeon. Just do a tiny heal on Ricky, and a tiny heal on me, why not? Alright, let's venture ahead. Fascinating. It's just as the manuscripts described. The jar over there must be where the contagion was sealed away. And just as I feared, it was damaged in the earthquake. Ah, we're in luck. The section with the seal drawn on it is still intact. Patching this up should be a piece of cake for a top archaeologist like myself. Just need to get all of the pieces together. And then take my special glue. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do another really terrible accent. Okay, brace yourselves. Are you no good nose poking buckaroos here to try and cram me back in that teeny tiny little old pot? Well, I ain't gonna let y'all, you hear? No siree, the raging contagion's gonna keep her raging. Raging, raging, raging. So this is the contagion that's been troubling the town. Drat, I haven't finished fixing the jar yet. Don't just stand there, Nicola. If you don't do your job and fight that abomination, I can't do mine. I need more time. Go on, keep it occupied while I get this jar back together. Alright, will do. I just need to, like, really quickly equip my fan again. Although technically the copper sword is stronger. You know what? For RP purposes, we're going for the fan. Alright, let's stop this guy. Sakes alive, you pesky critter! I'm gonna have to send your sorry hide to the bone orchard once and for all. Alright, here we have the Raging Contagion, which is a fantastic name for a monster. The very essence of illness. It was sealed up in the Quarantomb for a century, but came back to curse Coffinwell once more. This toxic pox was created to ensure that the nameless terror that slept in the Quarantomb stays sealed forever. Okay, so this boss is actually the first boss that's able to attack twice in one turn, which makes him kinda difficult. He also has the ability to lower the party's defense and agility, like he's gonna do right now. So you can actually pile up quite a bit of damage quite quickly. Much rather he lower agility compared to defense, because if he does that twice and the party's defense is, ooh, nice, reduced a lot, that can be quite devastating. So, let me just attack with me and Roxy. I think, yeah, Sakura knows buffs, so she can counter any debuffs that he sends our way. We could also do Insulate, but I don't think it's worth it, even though he does have some breath-based attacks. I think it's more smart just to keep her on the healing. But here we have something really cool, Ricky's coup de grace. So let's see what he's got. Cranks out a critical hit every time! Cracking! Let's give it a go. Oh, that was some great damage. Oh my goodness, that was awesome. Alright, looks like we're good for health, so let's just keep attacking with everyone. Try and get that 2x damage multiplier on Ricky if possible. We're all really slow now, so that's actually making our attacks sync up really well. His physical attacks aren't very strong though, because he hasn't actually cast debuff on us, which is really good. Usually he goes straight for that. Nice. 64. So I am a little bit overpowered for this boss. I'd say like level 14, 15 is more than enough. But like I said before, I wanted to do all my leveling now so that it gives me an easier time in the next areas. I don't have to worry about grinding monsters for quite some time. Also, I've just noticed that he's actually envenomated Ricky, which is different from poison. So poison does damage on the field. If you're envenomated, then it does damage in battle, so we're gonna want to try and heal that. I think Sakura knows Squelch, does she not? She does, so we can cure that off Ricky, which is good. Ooh, couple of big bites there. So Ricky's no longer poisoned, perfect. Alright, just do a little heal here on Sakura, because you know how she likes to get targeted for no reason. Sakura also learned mid-heal, which is a stronger form of heal, but we're not quite in a position where we have to heal more than 75 HP. Oh no! Sakura's coup de grace again! Getting just ruined! I was gonna use it! Aw, oh, dang it. Well, we're very overpowered, so the Raging Contagion is already defeated. Some good experience and some money. And he drops a clump of royal soil. Y'all won't ever stop my raging! Raging, raging, yeehaw, I'm a raging contagion! I've done it, it's fixed, and not a moment too soon. Now, Sacred Jar, seal away this evil beast. Oh shoot, not the gosh darn pot again. No! Did you see that, Nicola? Did you see what I did? I sealed the confounded contagion away. Haha, now father-in-law will have to change his tune and show me some respect at last. Well, we've done what we came to do. Now I can finally explore the ruins at my leisure. You can head off now, Nicola. I'd rather not be distracted if it's all the same to you. have a look around and see what's what. Perhaps you could report back to Coffinwell and let them know how it went. Alright, well it's all done and dusted then. Can't believe we didn't get to use Sakura's coup de grace again. It's gonna be a terrible recurring theme. Hey, who's this? Who the bally blue blasted blazes am I? No matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to remember. Oh, I guess he doesn't know. So it's just as I thought. The shrine is actually the tomb of some long-forgotten king. But if that's the case, then what was the contagion put here for? Oh, Nicola, it's you. You still haven't headed back then. I'm going to stay here and continue my investigations. Tell Katrina I'll be back home soon. Alright, will do, pal. Very interesting. So yeah, I am very relieved to have this dungeon over and done with because I'm good for leveling for quite some time now, which feels fantastic. It actually took quite a bit longer than usual to find the amount of slimes I need. I was hoping it would take me about 20 minutes and it turned out to take me about 40, so that wasn't the best, but we've done it. So let me just toss a Chimera Wing, we'll head back to Coffinwell and share the good news with everybody. Or rather, we'll share the news next time since this video's gone on a little bit longer than I intended it to. So we'll save it for the next part. Thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you next video.